This morning, I'm going to do a little bit of work on my Squier Strat SE. This guitar is fully stock right now, so there's some little upgrades I want to do on it over the next little while. I want to change the nut out from this plastic nut, which is what we're going to do today. I want to put some different pickups in here. These are ceramic bar pickups, so I want to get some Alnico 5s, put those in there just to see how those sound. I kind of like the fact that these are the Squier branded tuners. I like that, but I also like the more vintage style, so we'll see what happens with that, whether or not I change them or not. But yeah, a few little upgrades I want to do in the next little while on this guy. But for today, we're going to do this Tusq nut. We're going to change out the plastic for Tusq for this guy here. Alright, so start by loosening the strings. We're going to try to keep these strings. They're not that old. So if we get these loose enough, let's try to get them out of the way. Loosen these a bit more. These are 10s on here. I probably will end up going back to 9s, which is what I normally use. I like them, but I've tried some 10s. So they're not bad. I'm not in a panic, but I will probably change them back, maybe when I do the pickups, rather than changing them now and changing them later. Alright, so those are kind of out of the way. I'm actually just going to grab some of this. I'm going to take just to kind of help these stay out of the way. Like that. I can get my fingers on them. There we go. Should be alright. Alright. So, need a little razor blade here. First thing we're going to do is score around the nut. Lightly score around it so that we remove any lacquer that could be on there. Sides as well. Doesn't really feel like there's much there, if anything, but just try to make sure. Okay. Grab a little maybe this one will work. See if we can tap this out. Might be a little bit big, we're going to see. In there, I'm going to score a little bit more just to make sure that we're not pushing against lacquer or something. It could also just be more heavily glued than it needs to be. You don't need very much glue. Kind of moves a bit, so I think it won't tap out. I'll try to lift it. I'll grab a little bit smaller Allen wrench here. See if we can. Move it a bit. We'll try this way. Oh, someone may have really glued that in there, so I can pull it out here. Make sure I'm not scratching the fretboard. Oh, that is really in there. Get underneath it at all. Don't want to start scratching up the neck. There we go. So, that is out. No scratches. Perfect. Man, that is light and you can kind of hear it versus plastic, Tusq. So this is much nicer. And this looks like the neck radius on this guitar is flat. Like it's probably not flat, but it is close. Alright, so this is going to be our new one. It's going in. This is the old one that just came out. Not sure if it'll focus up there, but that's the old one that just came out from plastic. Tusq. So let's get this next slot prepared and ready to go. All right, so got the old nut out right here. It's that plastic nut. Got the new Tusq nut. It's man, radius is so close to flat. It's crazy. Actually, that nut is the old one. It actually rocks a little bit on there. This, yeah, that rocks a little bit. Yep. Okay, so old nuts out. Let's grab a little file, very, very lightly. That'll fit. No, that's going to be a little too big. I just want to, there's just a tiny little bit of glue in there. I don't want to open up the slot. Okay, that's looking good. So this, see, that's got quite a bit of rock on it. Loosen up a little bit more. Kind of better. That's better. Okay. So, as far as width goes, it fits right in. Now, a lot of times with these Tusq nuts, they're a little bit too thick, a little bit too wide, and you end up having to sand them down a little bit, the width, but this one fits in there perfect. And side to side, it's not bad. I'll take it down a hair on the sides, but it's not bad. Seems to. Yeah, so it's got a little bit of a rock in there, so it is almost flat. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want this to kind of be radiused to the fretboard. So I'm going to take it down a little bit. So I'm going to a little piece of sandpaper here. This is self-adhesive sandpaper. So we do this. I'm going to put it right on the fretboard. Make sure we have it the right way. Then we're just going to go back and forth here. And that's going to radius this nut to the fretboard. Slight rock on there still. Peel it back to see how it fits in. compare, right? Let's see if we can see how these compare to each other a little bit more. We're gonna leave that there, and I'll do the edges, do the corners. Okay, so we've sanded off the bottom so that's going to fit in there nicely. The width was already great, fits in. As I compare to the old one, it seems this way. The old one was sat much higher in there. See how that goes. So now, slides right in. And I'm going to put the two outside strings on. See if that goes here. String spacing is great. So let's do this. That height. I'm looking for they don't want it any lower than that. So that is 0.006 on the high E and 0.010 on the low E. That spacing, just kind of look down the neck here. Looks good. So it's actually so close I may just take a little bit off and then I'll sand it in place. Sandpaper, I'm just going to take a little bit. Inside. See what that is. Get that little adjustment, tighten it up, have a look. Yeah, so that feels pretty good. Just going to piece of tape on there, piece of tape on here. Just give it a little. Little file, make sure it's not sliding. That side is good. Let's do a little bit more on this side. Okay, feels good. So now the sides are feeling good. So before I put any glue on it, I am going to bring the strings to tension and tune it up, and then we'll just kind of see. All right. So it all tunes up. Good action there, everything looks good. So now we will, I'll loosen the strings, I'll pop it out and put just the tiniest dab of glue on there, hold it in, and then we'll jump in and see if we can hear any tonal difference at all. You know, with the plastic nuts, they tend to bind a little bit more in the slots. This is self-lubricating, so the strings slide easier. That's going to help with my tuning stability. And then it is supposed to have a little bit different tone. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to pick up much difference of tone, you know, with these pickups and stuff like that. But we'll have a listen to it and see. But yeah, so pop the old nut out. Make sure your new nut is radius to your fretboard and the correct width, which this one was the correct width. Get it in there. Make sure the sides are nice and flush and even, and then hear the difference. So let's jump over there and hear it.